Hello, HNU. This is the Career Center here, bringing you a great podcast series called the Career Center Spotlight. The Career Center Spotlight is all about interviewing folks in different industries to give you a professional and firsthand view of what's going on in their professional industry so you can get some insight and intake into what's going on. As the semester and everything goes on, an academic year, we'll have different people from different industries who I will be interviewing and giving you some of the great insight into how they got to where they at, the education, journey that they took, if they took that journey, and then just some real, again, hands-on, first lived experience of what they're doing in the field. So I hope you love the podcast. Please, leave us a like, a comment at the end, and let us know how it go. And if you think that you have somebody or an industry that you would like to hear us interview, give us a holler here in the Career Center, Brennan 81. Let's get into our interview for this week. Hello, HNU listeners. We have a great guest with us today. We have HNU alumni Brianna Horton. Hello, Brianna.
Hi.
Welcome today. So she's going to be with us today and just share some of her great nuggets of wisdom and her experience of life and all those things for all of you to take part in and be able to get to know who she is. So, Brianna, just tell us a little bit about yourself and, how you got to HNU and what you did while you were here.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is it okay to reference lost footage?
Yeah, I'll.
Okay. Because I don't know if you're going to, maybe you're joking with me. Maybe this is a
no,
quiz.
I know. I wish.
I thought about that. I was like, I know I told exactly what it was that I felt the last time, but what if you're going to, double back and, compare the two and be like,
Oh, no, I know we talk, and as we record this right now, all of this will go into it and everything, and I know you talk about some great influencers, and you were very proud to talk about them, so I do have that. I don't
remember them today.
I do have that question for you, but see, they don't know who they are right now, so,
okay.
Just whoever you reference in this second interview, technology people don't fully trust it. I trusted it, and we lost our first recording, so this is our double back. And so she was very gracious to come back and be able to share her knowledge and wisdom again. So
I'm nervous. Okay, let's go. So you're asking, what was the question?
How did you get to HNU, and what did you study and everything when you were here, and just your road of education?
I actually was referred to HNU because I thought I wanted to be a nursing major, and my dad recommended this school because it was the best. But then when I got here, I made friends, and over time I just realized that I was doing things that were not related to nursing, in my personal time. And those are the things that I really enjoyed, and I was pretty decent at it because it just kind of came. And so when I made the decision to switch my major, school got really easy. But before that, that was that was essentially how I got to Holy Names. I followed the recommendation. I wanted to be a pediatric anesthesiologist.
Oh, wow.
That's very specific. And it sounded good and it was all the things, but I tried so hard to be that person who just studied all the time, and it didn't matter how hard I tried at physics with Dr. Didi.
Yeah, Didi. Mm-hmm.
I just could not pass his class. And like I said, I was having these frustrations, similar to kind of what I'm having right now, why I wanted to switch jobs, is because there are things that I have to do at my job that I can do. And then there are also things that I have to do at my job that I'm really good at doing. Mm-hmm. And the things that I'm really good at doing are what the organization needs. And so similar to how school was, I came to Holy Names not really trying to be here. But then, what kept me here was that I changed my focus to things that I was good at. And then all of a sudden, I just started to, shine and rise above. And people, that was it. So I'm sorry. I'm also like in a reflective moment.
No, it's all right.
I need to like change jobs to figure out what I should be doing.
And so what did you change your major to from nursing when you were here?
Business.
Okay.
Business management. Because that one, it made sense to me. Like everything about business management made sense. It's really just organizational management, putting things in like buckets and keeping them related and organizing the information. I also, I don't know.
But you found a comfort and a better sense of like where you were trying to really go with the business degree compared to going into the field of nursing.
Yeah.
It's a long road. And so in our first take that we had, you talked about a very unique background that you had growing up with your mom and traveling around the country and everything. Can you go ahead and share some of that? Because that's a fascinating story, and I really like that story, and I'm so sad we lost that first edition of it.
Yeah. It's literally like the story of my life, right?
Yes.
So how did I frame that story? Did I frame it in like a positive experience?
Yeah, no, you framed it because from what I recall is you framed it in like having the balance of like your dad who would tell you like, have a plan, go get things done. Like, if you want something, make the plan to go get it. And then your mom was in school, single mom, and you saw her development going to all these different universities and working at them and how that shaped and molded you as well.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I think that's partially why I'm afraid to make the move to go get a master's degree now. Is because of all the moving around that we did. My dad being like the more like run your life like a business, make sure that you're doing these things. He would definitely tell me to stay where I am and continue on the forward track that I'm going. But he also has said that, now would be the right time to go get a master's degree. I just want to make sure that I'm sure because all of what I experienced, the University of first Cornell, and then it would have been University of Florida, and then the University of Oregon, and like all of those different experiences, I think make me attracted. Like I want to go back to school, but I just want to make sure it's worth it.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that I'm going because it'll help me on this forward track that I've already established, not just because maybe that's what I'm used to.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
So there's definitely, you're in this new state of discovery and really trying to find out like what your next steps are. You've done work.
I wouldn't say it's discovery. I would say it's discontent.
Discontent. Okay.
I'm not satisfied right now. I'm like itching, and I don't know if it's itching for a new experience or itching for like more money, probably both. Also itching for like a growth that doesn't require, I don't know. Like I don't want to be lazy, but I just don't think it's as structured as take the GRE, pass the test, get into, I don't think that that's what it is. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
That's very confusing.
Life can be very confusing at times. It takes time. It really takes time and everything. And so, I know we talked about last time about just some of the people who have been big influencers in your life. Who has been those people for you? Just off the top of your head. No pressure on like trying to recall who you did from the first one. Remember the first tape, the first recording is lost.
Yeah. Well, I know I definitely said my mom and dad because we referenced them and how they kind of raised me. My dad being the more stable structure and my mom going to a couple different places. But if I didn't reference my grandma, she was really important too.
And how does she influence you and like to who the person you've become and are developing into?
You know what? That's a really interesting question because that's also a part of what I'm going on. My job has this race and equity team, and boy, is it starting to get under my skin. And I have to be on it because I'm interested in it.
Yeah.
I also have to be on it because I'm the director's executive assistant. It makes me feel some type of way.
Okay.
And I think that goes to, like you say, how did your grandma influence you? My grandma basically gave me everything that I need right now to navigate the workplace that I'm in. But I don't think that's enough. The reason why I feel kind of like maybe not so satisfied at my job is because I don't really think that I'm prepared to do the work that is noticed and important.
Okay.
I think it's more so because they're like, well, generally speaking, you're good people and you give good vibes. And because good vibes in the workplace are important, you can be like an employee. And my grandma kind of gave me that, the party planning, the hosting. And so I thank her for that. I think she also gave me my passion, which made me want to do business administration because I wanted to start my own event planning business.
Okay.
So just in general, being around her, she was always planning events and telling me how to be a good host and how to set the table and doing all of these things that like make guests feel like hospitality in general. That was her thing. And so, but I feel like I'm in a space right now where I either want to like start my own business doing hospitality in some fashion. I'm not sure if that's in the form of just event planning or hosting, or what, but she was a pretty incredible person. And I thank her for a lot of just the little teeny tiny simple nuggets that she gave me. Because I think that in addition to like the structure that my mom and dad added gives me like what I'm using right now to just make it.
Yeah. So you've had a nice balance of influential people in your life to help put the structure together and the work that you do and the things that you go forward with. So it seems, that you're at a crossroads right now. I wouldn't even say seems. You're definitely at a crossroads. And, that happens in life a lot. Like we go one way and we're thinking about we're going to do something this way all the time. And then something else comes up. And you experienced the same thing here at HNU, coming in, wanting to be a nursing student and then switching to a business student and finding passion and driving that. So what are methods that you use when you come to moments like this of crossroads, or people that you talk to help you with these moments in life?
Yeah. I think one of the first things to do is to really like take a look at the whole picture if you can. Sometimes that's really hard, but my dad, like, he broke down problem solving to me by referencing a really complicated math problem and like PEMDAS. I don't know exactly how he gave me this story or analogy, but this is essentially what I think about it. A problem, and it's pretty big, until you start to like dissect it piece by piece, to figure out which part is really tripping you up. And this is also why I freaking hate math. It's like, because it's just like so big, whatever the problem, like you can, anyway. So if you think about it, like you have your order of operations and just kind of sort of being organized in your order of operations, right? Like first I'm going to address this piece, then that piece and this piece. And I have to do it this way logically because this is what makes sense. This is contingent on that, right? And so kind of but like thinking about bigger problems in those little ways, right? Figuring out which one is directly related to the other one, cause and effect, and then trying to adjust, the things until you get the right variable or whatever that you're looking for, but essentially that's kind of how I look at it. So if you talk about like a moral crossroads, or when I decided to change my major, I was looking at it. I was like, okay, here are the factors that are going into nursing, and it's equaling me being really tired, me getting terrible grades no matter how hard I try, me not feeling successful in school, and me not on track to graduate. Like, that's the most important thing. This is a very expensive school, and not being on track to graduate means you are just racking it up. Like, for what reason, though? And then it's going to get to a point where it's going to be shameful, And so, like, those are all stressors that have really were just so much to me. I just had to take a step back.
Yeah.
You just had to fall back really quick and be like, okay, what here is in my control? What's not in my control? What is everything that is in my control working in all of the right orders? If it's not, it's in my control so I can fix it. And then we can move to the things that aren't in my control and start looping, in resources. And you figured it out, and I'd stayed in school and had a different major and graduated and was more engaged with school and I made it.
Yeah. And
you can make it until you don't anymore. Or until you like come to another crossroads.
Yeah. So you're building on the skills that you've had before of facing crossroads and everything, and developing those. And so you said like your dad explains it as a math problem. What are maybe some other people who have helped you with figuring out these crossroads?
My mom is like super spiritual, and so she's always on this journey. And when I was with her, I got to go on her journey with her. And that's always fun. Really, I am being sarcastic, but really it is always fun, because in that I picked up some interesting philosophies. Sometimes you can do all the problem solving and deep dive thinking and analysis and reflecting as you want, but also understanding that if that door is not going to open, it ain't going to open. That's not your door.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you got to get a new keeper, bro. Like, go the other way. And so I also am practicing now knowing when to like quit or go the other way.
Yeah.
And I think that something that I'm learning is the balance of when to start going the other way.
Okay.
So I think there's a lot of emphasis on like, don't give up, don't quit, don't start in the middle and don't stop, right? But at the same time, for how long do you keep like chugging at something before before the opportunity cost of time comes in, I guess. And so I think that's currently where I'm at.
Okay.
How much time do I have to continue to try, or but then you don't really know. It's like an estimate, It's like a guess. How far will you be if you quit sooner rather than not earlier or later? It's sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And what would you lose if you would have just waited a little bit longer?
Mm-hmm. One of life's big questions and mysteries. And they always come at different points in time in our life, and it's always try to say it's the same battle, is just formatted in a different way. Yeah. Or like you're saying, like the math problem, it's the same math problem, just with some different variables in there. Now we got like an A and B and an F instead of the X and Y. Time. Yeah. So all of that stuff. So it's definitely a road to travel. And so you're suggesting to students, really try to look at that big picture and look at the way that they can, break it down and not have to look at it as a piece, as a whole thing.
If you can. Sometimes just that part is really hard.
Mm-hmm.
My dad always tells me, you can't see it because you're in it.
Yeah.
And so that's, I think, where it's super critical to do something that gives you a third perspective, a third objective perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, so.
I leave that part up to imagination.
All right. So, Brianna, this has been a very fun time, and, just hearing your road and your journey, and I think a lot of students are going to get a lot out of this. Because college, especially as you know, you're almost always at a crossroad. It's a new semester, it's a new class with new people, and it's an adjustment period every time.
That shakes it up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
The learning curve is high. I think that structure alone is a little bit of an introduction for how life is like. If you're a project-based employee, every semester is a new project. Go, yeah. Deadlines. Here you go. Deliver.
It's always a new thing. I mean, life every day is a new journey, and so what how we end this section, all these episodes every time is I'm just going to ask you 3 questions. Just go ahead and give me your response to them to your best ability. So your most challenging position you have had?
Are these the same questions as last time?
Yes. I don't remember what you said last time. So
I don't either. Let me really think about that challenge. Well, can we define what you mean by challenging? Because there are different ones. There are emotionally challenging.
However you want to define whatever the challenging is. I do not control these questions. I just ask them.
Well, today, because I'm in a different space, I would say, I would like to focus on emotional challenges, right? Because that's partially what goes into being at crossroads. You're emotionally or whatever conflicted. Well, no, not all crossroads are emotional conflicts, but you're just undecided.
Yeah.
So I would say my most challenging positions are the positions where I can't make decisions. I think that position, I've never actually been in a position where I couldn't make a decision at my job.
Yeah.
But that is very challenging. I think my most challenging position I've been a marketing person, a teacher. I think my most challenging positions are the positions that require me to just sit and wait. I'm not good at that.
Yeah.
The teaching job was very challenging. I had to quit that job.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because I couldn't make decisions. I was just like a robot doing exactly what I was told.
Yeah.
That was very challenging. It's very challenging for me to just
be on autopilot.
And so I was not satisfied with that job. I was not content at all. I was itching to get out of there, change something or do more. I think my most,
Okay.
being bored is very challenging.
That is a challenge. Your favorite show or movie about a workplace?
I don't think you have. Oh, I love Mad Men.
Okay, yes. Yes, Mad Men was your answer last time.
Sorry.
I do remember that one. No, it's fine. Nothing to apologize about. All right, and then our last one. So when I was 21, I was...
Stupid. Still the same.
So any last advice you wanna leave for our students here at HNU? Yeah.
Yeah. I think that if you try really hard to get a better sense of what your passion is early on, you won't have as many crossroads later on.
Okay.
Or at least you won't have the basic crossroads, right? Am I successful, or am I doing what I should be doing? Could I do more? If you might have crossroads like, do I want to start my business in London or Paris? Like that's, those are challenging issues. How far do I want to be away from home base? Mm-hmm. But like, if you're going to come to some crossroads, I think that there's if you figure out what it is that if you figure out what you find really interesting and really fun and really go for that, and if you start doing that earlier, I think that your crossroads will be much more interesting to like try to figure out how to get through. Crossroads to figure out like, should I get a new job? Should I leave? Should I stay? Or should I go back and get a master's? Those shouldn't be the things that people like agonize over. Should just do it one way or the other.
Crossroads. So finding your passion early and utilizing the services and people that you can to help you with that. Like here at the Career Center.
Yeah.
And then
go for it.
Yeah. And then so if a student is listening to this and they feel very moved by what you're saying and would possibly like to reach out to you and connect, how could they go about doing that? You on LinkedIn or?
My LinkedIn is not as active as it should be. Anyone who wanted to get in touch with me could come and that implies that I have like a space to come to. See? I'm at a crossroads. I would say come and see me at the city. No, email me or you can text me. My phone number is 510-708-8315. Maybe we can go for like a coffee or something. Hopefully I'll be in a better space. One that's a little bit more motivating and not so conflicted. But thanks for y'all for being good listeners while I figure this out. This is totally like a thought, like.
Hey, we take all here because this is all part of the life journey and everything. So, Brianna, thank you so much for your time and your energy and your insight.
Yeah, no problem. Sorry that we lost part 1 because I think this would have been such a great 2-parter.
Yes, this would have been a great 2-parter. So maybe somewhere down the road we interview again because I think now I'm going to call this episode Crossroads with Brianna.
Yeah, but can we not release this like first? Let's try a different day. Like, let me let you know once I've had like a big success at work, and then I'm like, yeah, work is the best.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap for this week's Career Center Spotlight. Hope you got some insightful information from this and some knowledge that you can use presently and in the future. So make sure you leave a comment on this on our page, and let us know what you thought. Great topic that this could be brought up in class and you can share with your professor, with your friends, and again, help you push forward and continue to know what's happening out there in the field. Although you're right here, right now, and going through the educational process, but there's always great opportunities out there for you. So have a great day. Good luck on all those assignments, tests, and quizzes. And until next time, Career Center is here for you. Out.